From the heart of Maine, this is the DuView podcast.
All right, and welcome to this week's episode of the DuView podcast. I am your host, Du, a.k.a. Ryan Dumont, and this week I am joined by fellow young Mainer and Maine musician, Mr. Jason Barnes. Jason, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
Excellent. So, Jason, you were an Augusta original, correct? You grew up in the Augusta area, buddy?
I did, born and raised.
Fantastic. We went to, Jason and I met, we'll get the backstory out of the way here, as we do with every good episode here on the DuView podcast. Jason and I went to school together. You're what, 2 years behind me?
I think so, yeah.
I graduated from Coney in 15.
I'm 17.
So 17,
so,
so 2 years.
Right up.
Look at that math, buddy. I didn't even go to math school. So that being said, Jason and I went to school together for a long, long time. Grade school to high school, and then obviously everybody goes their separate ways in college. But if I had gone to UMaine, we could have done that too. But that being said, like I said, Jason and I went to school. Were you so to tell a little bit of the story here? There are two Catholic schools in Augusta. Mm-hmm. There was, as I mentioned in my last episode, on the history of Augusta, we had the French Catholic Church and the Irish Catholic Church, and as they each had their own church, they also had their own school. So I was a St. Mary's guy originally. Were you also a St. Augustine's guy?
I was a St. Augustine's guy.
Were you?
Yeah.
So how was that? That was going to the school up on the hill, the old school.
It was really old.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much of it, to be honest with you. I think I had transferred over when I was in like third grade, so it's like really kind of a blurry time in my memory.
It's youth, I get that.
I'm sure like 40 years down the road, I'm just gonna remember everything. It's all just gonna
come
flooding
back
to me. But like right now, I couldn't tell you.
And was it true? The biggest rumor I remember being in grade school, being at St. Mary's, we had a gym, like a full, as you know, we had the full.
Going with this.
Yeah, is it true that you guys had like gym in the downstairs?
100% true. In the bathrooms.
In the bathrooms, yeah.
That's 100% correct.
So if anybody, I'm sure other people that tune into this will remember, especially if they were on the younger side, like 25 and under. I remember that being a full-fledged rumor, especially when they were getting ready to combine the schools. Mm-hmm. It was like, like those St. Augustine's kids, they have gym in their bathrooms. They're, like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That must have been a welcome change, though, coming to the different building, a little bit, not newer by a whole heck of a lot. I mean, that St. Mary's was still built in the early 60s, but.
Yeah. I would take lunch in the gym over gym in the bathroom every day of the week.
I don't blame you there, buddy. I don't blame you there at all. But so Jason and I both went to, good old Catholic school, good Catholic boys, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Right, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Have you always called Maine home? I know you said Augusta born and raised. Have you spent any time outside of the state, or you always called Maine home?
I've always called Maine home for the most part, but I do like a lot of traveling, particularly for like work and stuff. I'm out of state a lot, and I try to get out as much as I can. I like to see places.
Oh yeah, I mean, same here, buddy. There's a whole marble, the globe. There's a whole marble to go see. There's a whole bunch of, even just in our own country. I've done more traveling really overseas than I even have done, in our own country.
Yeah, that's the way to go, I think, personally.
There's just some stuff I've missed out on, though, like Montana, Colorado, like all these these. Well, I'm a big nature guy. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll just go climb a mountain, stare at a mountain. Like I really enjoy like the different, like you go out to like Utah, for example, and like you're out on the flat plains, and then there's just this mountain, like way off in the distance, right? And like it looks like it's really close, but it's miles and miles away. It's just a different geography. Yeah. Maine is very blessed in the sense, as I've noted before, and as you know, we're very lucky that we have a very diverse geography here, between our mountains, rivers, lakes. I mean, we have some fantastic lakes just 5 minutes outside of Augusta, between Cobbessy, Weber Pond, all that, all that good stuff. But That being said, what's your favorite part of living in Maine, buddy? We got plenty to do, and
yeah, I think you just highlighted it pretty well. I'm also a pretty big outdoorsman myself. When I'm not doing other things, I'm going fishing this Friday up with my brother. So
nice.
I really do enjoy spending my time outside.
Yeah. What do you like to fish for? Do you have a specific?
Not really. I kind of just tag along with him. He's like a guide basically.
Oh,
he's
no
like,
shit.
Hey, do
Yeah.
this, and I say
okay,
and then I do.
That's cool.
That's basically
cool.
it.
Well, that's like I had my buddy Aaron Bernier on back during the winter time. You know Aaron.
I know
you
Aaron.
went to school with Aaron too. You went to St. Augustine's with Aaron
Yes,
for a
I
short
did.
time. But anyway, that's what I kind of do with those guys. I'm okay at it. I wouldn't consider myself, a avid fisherman or anything like that. But it's like, hey, there's probably something over here. Okay,
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. What would you say your favorite state activities, buddy?
State activity.
Yeah, in-state.
Skiing, probably.
Skiing?
Absolutely.
You Sugarloaf, Saddleback, Sunday River guy?
I'm a Sugarloaf and Sunday River guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you grow up on a specific mountain? Did you learn to ski at one specific place?
If my memory serves me correctly, I think you came along on the trips to Lost Valley.
You're goddamn right I did, buddy. I'm glad. Wow. I didn't even know you were on those trips, dude.
Yeah, man. Every Friday.
Yeah. Well, that was an awesome program put on by the Augusta Rec. I'm pretty sure Augusta Rec program put that on.
That was right through
Yeah,
the
they used to take us on Friday nights, middle school or
middle school up to high school.
Yeah, middle school to high school. They used to take us Friday nights to go night skiing over at Lost Valley. And for those of you that don't know, I'll have to do an episode on Lost Valley sometime. That'd be awesome. This is a cool little spot. I don't mean, when I say little, I don't mean to belittle it or to put any negative light on that, because I love Lost Valley. I mean, I didn't even think the podcast page follows Lost Valley. They gave me a shout out once upon a time, like a couple of years back. Yeah, no, they were they're fantastic over there. But anyway, for those of you that don't know, over, and I technically think it's in Auburn. It's a little ski hill. It's literally a hill.
Yeah.
It takes you longer to ride up the chair than it does to ski down the steepest, slope they have there. But it's a great spot to learn, and it's a great, just little fun, unique thing. Like night skiing is so much fun.
Yeah, that's the only place I've ever done it. I can't think of any off the top of my head elsewhere that do it.
Sunday River used to do it.
Yeah.
But again, Sunday River's so big that it's only like one specific peak. You know what I'm saying? Because it's spread out.
Pretty wide.
I mean, and I absolutely love Sunday River. I mean, just for the different, geography and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to sneak over to the Jordan Bowl, way over on the right side. There's especially when you get a lot of powder. Go through
nice.
There. It's awesome. I mean, because you can even still find corduroy at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon out there.
It's like nobody's over there usually. It's like fantastic.
And you can go. You need lunch. Hotel's right there.
Yep.
I mean, it's just as good as food as you're going to get on any other place on the mountain. It's all the same. So, I'm saying specific dining services, not like the little place like Shipyard and like the little unique places that are.
Yeah.
But that being said, I grew up at Sugarloaf myself. That's where I learned to ski. Because we were from Skowhegan, so it was we could go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We could go it's basically equidistant to Saddleback and Sugarloaf alike, being up there. And so we did Sugarloaf for a while, and then eventually we swapped over to Saddleback when Sugarloaf started to go up in prices. And then we even rented a ski house down like at the lake. When you're skiing down Saddleback, there's that lake down. I don't know the name of the lake off the top of my head. But it's down at the end of the access road, case in point. And we rented a little place there. It was really cool, to just be able to like have a place for all your shit. That's one of the biggest pains of skiing is lugging all your stuff, especially during like the COVID times. I went skiing once during like when the lodges were really like locked down. You couldn't go in the lodges at all. Yeah. And luckily my mom had a locker. I was skiing with her that day, and she had a locker, so we had a spot to like
actually do stuff.
To like put our boots on. It's just like, man, like this has been tough for the ski ranges, but hey, they seem to be doing good, and a lot of technological. What do you think about the new gates they have with the pass? What do you think about that, buddy?
I have a funny story, actually.
Yeah, please.
For some reason, they don't work for me, and it's the most embarrassing thing. Like I'll put them in a pocket in my jacket that's like right on my waist, like right where the sensor is, and I'll stand there, and the gate won't move, and everyone's looking at me. Like, this guy just is.
Who's this asshole?
This guy's trying to steal a free lift ride here. I was like, no, I swear to God.
No, I swear.
And then I'll have to like flip my gloves off and get it out, stick it on the thing, and then eventually it'll get through, and it's just like, holy crap.
Right.
Everyone's already like...
Well, I'm embarrassed, and you all hate me, so we're off to a great
That's
start.
what I'm saying. That's why I don't really care that much, because
Right.
I'm never really going to see those people again.
Yeah,
but
no,
at the same
exactly.
time,
And you have a balaclava and goggles on. They can't
they
tell
won't
who
know
you
it's
are.
me.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Not that I'm like famous in the first
Right,
place.
yeah. No, well, actually, that's a funny story you're saying about being famous. When I went over to Sunday River, last name being Dumont, and also I am distantly related to Simon Dumont, the former X Games freestyle skier.
Oh, yeah.
They have the Dumont Cup over there. It was like I gained celebrity status without doing anything, just by being a Dumont by birth. They're like, oh, because they used to actually, like, you know, when they had like the beeper guns, you know, like the scanning guns, like it looked like the price guns.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that being said, you know, they would, you know, come over and they'd like look at your pass, like actually look at them, you know, and it was like, oh, Dumont. I'd be like, yep. You made the same joke the last week I was here.
Get back on the same lift, he does it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like
funny.
a bad joke. What else do you like to do? You know, when you're not skiing or you're not, you know, out doing working or whatever. What's your other things to do in your free time, buddy?
I play men's league lacrosse during the summer.
Nice.
That's starting up in like the middle of June.
Is that pretty well attended?
Sometimes. It's getting better. It's getting more and more organized as we go on. It started right when I graduated high school. So it started in 2017.
So you must play with quite a few of your classmates.
Oh, yeah.
And former teammates, I guess.
Yeah, I play with lots of my former teammates and a lot of other kids.
That's cool. That's really nice. I used to do the same thing with soccer was my big sport when I was at Coney, and so we did while I was in college. You know, I haven't done it now, but also had knee surgery and all that good stuff. Since.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and just not having time. But we used to do Sunday nights. They used to have adult league soccer, and it was great. I'd play with, you know, like Aaron Bernier, an Antworth or two, and a couple of the Dubord brothers, and we'd go over there and play with a bunch of other, you know, adults that were, you know, in the Augusta area that wanted to play, and it was good. You know, it's that camaraderie and continuing to play that sport that you love is awesome. Because for a lot of us, right, sports end at high school. You know, you become a senior in high school and sports are over with.
I was just not athletic enough. Not nearly.
Me either, buddy.
Yeah.
That's why I played rugby.
Yeah. I did.
And we'll get into that. We'll get there. Shoot. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, buddy, you were very much a musician.
I am.
And so you're a musician amongst all else. So how long have you been playing? When did you start playing music, and what do you play?
Yeah. So I play primarily the bass guitar. I've been playing since I was about 10 years old, I think. I started kind of in a strange manner. I didn't like ever have a desire to play. I've always liked music. It's always been like a huge thing for me, but I never had a desire to like pick up an instrument or anything. And then one day I had some friends of mine at school. They were like, "Hey, do you want to just join a band for this little act we're going to do for like a chorus class we're doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure.
Why not?"
And I picked up bass, and I was kind of the only one that took it like seriously at all, and I just kind of took off from there.
Wow.
And it was like really funny. Just like nobody else followed through, and I just kind of ended up I just fell in love with it.
Right, yeah. And I mean, that's, well, and again, I had Marcia Gallagher on.
Yeah.
Last summer, almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
I actually ran into her a few weeks ago. She's doing great.
Yeah.
So it was great to talk with her. And actually, she was with Teresa Bowden, Miss Bowden, the chorus teacher.
Oh, really?
So I got to catch up with all them. And Miss Bernie, the accompanist who used to play piano for us, you know. So I got to catch up with all them, which was really cool. But that being said, you know, the thing to note, too, is that we didn't have a band. You know, for grade school and, you know, middle school. You know, there was no band, no hands-on playing of instruments at St. Mike's.
We had like a fleet of recorder players.
Yeah, well, that was mandatory in fourth grade. Everybody could play the recorder.
Yeah.
Skills varying. I don't know if I was very good at that, to be honest with you.
I'm god awful. I was terrible. I still am.
It's like that's why I play drums, buddy, because I don't need to really read music. Well, you do, but not real music.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just need to know what line the drum is on. What line is what tom.
Where do I hit?
Yeah, where do I hit and when? But no, it's been you know, I'm sure a unique experience for you, you know, starting with something kind of, you know, lazing, you know, just kind of moving your way through and then saying, well, you know what, I really enjoy this. I'm going to keep going with it. And like you said, you were the only one that was really serious with your friends. And so do any of them still, or is it just you
As far as I know, it's just me.
That made it. Say, hey, that's dedication. And that, I think, says a lot there. And so, Who would you say your musical influences are and why?
Yeah, so I will be honest with you. That is a loaded question.
It is. We can dig into it, buddy. It's a loaded question.
We can get right into it.
We load them up intentionally on the DuView podcast.
Yes, we do. We make them nice and meaty.
Yes,
so
sir.
so probably a lot of my musical influences have kind of varied, like waxed and waned over the years.
Yeah,
you know
of
what
course.
I mean? Like
As they do. Where you're at
do
different
that.
stages in life, you have different tastes in music.
Yeah.
You were into one genre more than you were 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So like back, I guess we'll just go chronologically here.
By all means.
And it's I do it this way to get the really embarrassing stuff out of the way first, and then we'll kind of really get into how I'm doing now. So like I started off as like a kind of like a rock and like new metal kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like I really like Linkin Park. And, and then,
I mean, who didn't? I mean, Linkin Park kicked ass. I'll admit, I would listen to a lot of Linkin Park. R.I.P. Chester. You know, I mean, like seriously.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started rolling, and then it kind of developed more into like a '90s era kind of thing. And
like a Sublime type thing,
yeah,
or like a Nirvana,
like a
grunge?
Sublime, Nirvana, Soundgarden, like all those grunge bands. I was like in love with
Pearl Jam.
Like in 8th grade into freshman year of high school, I was just like an angsty kid. It was like if you looked at my iPod today, is this kid like okay?
Yeah, like do we need to like have him talk with someone, or is he?
We should probably keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was all in good fun. And then I think the band that like still sticks with me to this day, which I would consider probably my biggest influence personally, is Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I was going to ask you if you're a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have a pretty long drive from work to and fro. I listened to the entirety of Blood Sugar Sex Magic on the way home today. It's like my defining album, I think.
I was going to say, is that also your favorite album?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I think not necessarily my favorite album, but if you were gonna like say like what made
which ones do you hold? Yeah, do you hold in high regard? Yeah.
Yep. And that's one of them right there. So.
Yeah. No, those are all really good. I mean, especially if you're more into that new age, that really catches the new age rock, bit there, and kind of you can see the interwoven themes. There's a lot of that's interconnected. All those guys played off each other and built off each other in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, and then I guess nowadays my taste is completely kind of flipped around. There was a point in time I was playing in another band a couple of years ago, and while I was in that band, it was all like just jazz fusion stuff. It was
that's cool.
I still love listening to that stuff. It's like really cool. And that was all like King Gizzard.
Yeah,
Wizard.
Lizard. Yeah, they do a song with Mile High Club or what's the name of that? They have the song Tessellation. I can't think of that.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I do. I don't really listen to them too much anymore.
Right. Yeah, but that's I can think of that. They actually have a song together too. That artist I just slaughtered the name of that I can't remember. But no, that electronic fusion stuff is really, really cool.
Yeah,
it really is.
I've been like listening, and then I kind of like delved into like the old prog music, like with Return to Forever, like Chick Corea and stuff like that. I kind of followed his career around a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Mild High Club is
Mild High Club.
Yeah, the song is Tessellation.
Nice. You got one. You got one.
If you get one, you're doing okay. Yeah. Mild High Club does a collaboration. They have a feature on one of the Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, that's cool. No, that's unique, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. So it's kind of like been all over the place, and right now I'm kind of in like an indie phase.
How couldn't you be though? I mean, there's a lot of good indie music out there.
There's a lot of good indie music.
That's interesting you say that because I've recently had a big coming around to a lot of indie music myself.
Yeah.
Just like little like one-off bands that I've never heard of. I'm gonna pull some. I'm gonna pull some up so I don't slaughter any more names. It's just like folks I'm not that familiar with, or like wouldn't have been familiar with previously. I mean, like obviously there's let me see here. Let me see.
Yeah, it's a lot of music.
It is a lot of music. Oh, it is. It is a lot of music. But actually, while I'm looking for that, one album that I've really clicked into recently is the new Black Keys album. I don't know if you've listened to that.
Yeah, I don't do too much listening to the Black Keys, but I do like their sound. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, it really is. They just like, two guys just play, and they've been doing it for so long. Like one of their first albums I think came out in like 2006.
Yeah,
They've been around for a long time.
They really like stuck to the board in like 2010-ish, like 2012, I think. So but they've been doing it for a while.
Like the Vista Kicks, that's one of the groups.
I love the Vista Kicks.
They're awesome.
They're sweet. That Marceline, Camp's pretty good.
They're coming to Portland actually.
Camp
Going
is?
to the Country is like one of my favorite songs. I'm not going to sing it because copyright, and also we don't want to hurt anybody's ears.
That's what I'm
saying. But that being said, it's a great song.
Yeah,
and,
really
like I said, indie, like I said, I don't know what it is. It's just been really speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also seen, I'm a Deadhead, as I've talked about before. I really love the Grateful
familiar,
Dead. And I see a lot of, like, with a lot of these newer music, and when I say newer music in the sense of people who are still playing instruments, like real instrumentation, not all, like, produce stuff. I'm starting to see, like people that are like paying homage. You know what I'm saying? Like you could almost give some of these people like a writing credit because they're like, I've seen it with a couple, folks, and you look and see who their influences are. It's like, oh yeah, they were fans of Jerry Garcia or the Grateful Dead, and it's like, oh, okay, I can see why you have like some of these guitar licks are like I recognize as a very Garcia, being obviously Jerry, guitar licks, or what might be even like Brian May, from Queen, legendary guy at this point. Some of the stuff people do, like paying homage, not trying to just like mimic and be like a cover band, but like paying homage to, and you can see that in some of this newer music that still has some instrumentation, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite things I think about music is you can kind of trace like where people came from musically to begin with, like. They might not necessarily be doing it on purpose, like to pay homage. They might just be playing it like that because that's just what they've listened to, and it's like that's kind of shaped their sound.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what
that's what I was just about to say. Shape your sound, and that's huge. Like, I mean, I'm very like when making and playing music. Do I get to do as much as I want to? No, but when I have a band, when I'm in a band and I'm in a band setting, like I grew up on, my parents are older, so I grew up on a lot of Beatles. Yeah. A lot of older stuff that did unique things. Like the Beatles were the first to bring like live orchestras into rock. And so like you bet your ass if I have a band, like I'm going to try to bring in trombones. I'm going to try, and also being a jazz musician myself, I mean, I led the St. Anselm Jazz Band when I was in college. Yeah, that's cool. And as a drummer, it's unique too, because usually a lot of the time your drum leaders, your band leaders, like trumpet players and like, those types of guys, or guitar, the guitarist and the more rock setting, but it was unique, and you got to meet a lot of cool things and hear a lot of cool different styles and different things like that, which I think, like, again, what shapes you, so I mean, like coming from the jazz scene, like I'm very much more improvisational, very free flowing, less rigidity, and like I had a professor in college who, great guy, but but like he was a big classical guy, like played classical piano, and like we had a little bit of hard time like syncing up on stuff because it's like I don't really know that much about Austrian piano, but I understand why you're the way you are because that shaped you, because that's where you're probably somebody who played for them or your interest, right? Similar with you with your 90s kick or your whatever that type of stuff, right? It forms you into where you are today. So that's a good point. That's what I was actually going to ask you is like, what about music speaks to you? And obviously, how it shapes you. But what else would you say anything else, really speaks to you musically? Oh yeah, I could talk about this for like hours. I'll try to like. Well, you got one. Yeah. I'll try to condense my thoughts into something kind of the most impactful way. I guess I think what speaks to me most about music is like there's always something. It's like a catharsis, you know what I mean? When you turn on the right song, when you're feeling a certain way, there's like if you find the perfect thing, it's just like immediately it clicks. You just start feeling it, and it's fantastic. Like, and it's a full body feeling. It's really not just a brain, a mental, or like a physical or emotional. It's a full body. At least for me, being a music lover, as with you and as with many other folks out there, you feel that like your whole body's moving. Yeah, I can't count on two hands how many times I've gotten like goosebumps and started moving around when I've heard like a really cool song, like a super cool riff, and I'll like go back and I need to hear that again before I finish this song. That was fantastic. Oh yeah. There are a lot of classic rock songs that do that for me. Like they just come in and hit you with one of those notes, and you're like, ooh, yeah, ooh. I might have not been listening before, but my ears are perked up now. No, that's cool though, and that's what I love is so unique about. If I didn't have music, man, I would be a miserable human being. Yeah, it's that good vibes, lifeblood. I mean, not all music is good vibes by any means, but it's just the art and the creation of this this art, you know, the creation of this form.
And that's what's like really kind of beautiful to me about it.
Yes.
Not to get strange here,
no,
but
you
like
can get a little philosophical.
Yeah.
We do that here. Yeah,
for sure. So that's what's kind of like beautiful to me about it is like when you like really get to know how to play your instrument, when you start to play music, it starts to like just be an extension of you.
Oh yeah.
So now you're kind of just playing your emotions basically. So now whenever you hear somebody who's like a master at their art, who master at guitar or something like that, or like Jimmy Page, for example,
right,
like you listen to that and it's just like I'm listening to like this is how he feels basically.
I'm basically taking a master class in his life.
Yeah, it's like a conversation. I think
Yes.
is my favorite
Yes, it
thing
is.
to quote Victor Wooten.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing about
That's
music.
an apt quote. Man.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, it's like
That's good.
somebody will play something and then it will say something to you, and they'll mean it in a certain way, and you may interpret it completely differently than they meant it, but that's totally okay. That's
and
what
that's
it's.
the cool thing about it.
Yeah,
that's the really cool thing about it. You know, it's like some of these songs, like people like the intended, you know, what the artist intended versus how people conceive it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to think of like one of the songs. It's like one of the most popular like school dance, slow dance songs. Might it be "Lips of an Angel" or something like that?
Oh yeah.
And it's actually like I'm gonna cheat on you.
Yeah.
Like I'm with your best friend, your sister, right, or something.
Like,
you
why
know,
are we
so
dancing
it's
to
like.
this?
Why am I holding the person I care about dancing to this
Who
music?
put this song
Has
on?
anybody listened to lyrics, guys? Like, but again, or like, you know, another great example, Outkast, Hey Ya.
Yeah, that song's messed up.
Yeah. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all just want to dance.
Yeah,
Andre 3000, and he's right.
He's
You know,
right.
y'all don't listen. You don't, and that was, geez, that's what 20 something odd years old now,
yeah.
But.
And I'll be honest with you, he's right. I
he is.
absolutely would dance to that song every time it came on. I still will.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture, man.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You bet I would.
Yes, sir, Andre.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. 3000.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm an Outkast. I love it. You know, as much as I'm like, as much as I'm a classic rock hippie, acid rock type guy.
Yeah.
I'm also very much rooted in the world of hip hop. I love rap music.
Yeah.
And a lot of the older stuff, I'll admit, like. I'm not big on the clout. I'm not big on the SoundCloud mumble rap generation. Like, I think, like I said, like I've talked about this, you know, with my buddy Chap, who was on back many an episode ago, again, almost a year ago now.
Yep.
You know, he's big into rap music. He actually met Big Crit, and you know, he's done a lot, you know, with rap, and he's a big fan of rap. And he actually got me into a lot of the artists I listen to now.
Sure.
But that being said, you know, it's. I just never like the first Migos album was Culture One, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of these like Young Dolph and Young Meatball and whatever other. I mean, I sound like an old dude, you know, like a boomer or something like that. Like, you know, all these kids in their rap music, but it's like I don't know. Like, there's something you can't tell me that you get the same thing, and again, this is just my opinion. You get the same thing. Listen to either a Biggie or a Tupac song, not just to go there automatically, or even just Snoop Dogg. You go to somebody who's like, you know, not like the, you know, considered like the heavyweight champion of like not the 90s, or even go like, I don't know, like a group like the Digital Underground with like that had Humpty Hump, you know what, or even Run DMC, for Christ's sakes, with the really basic ass beats and like nursery school rhymes. I'd still rather listen to that than Versace, you know, like it's just. Don't get me wrong. I think the cool thing about the newer music though is the production value of it. Like these producers are unreal. They figure out the algorithm and they hit gold, you know, and that's cool too. I like that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to produce a rap album, you know, and like do that type of stuff. I mean, some of my favorite producers are rap producers, like Static Selecta, The Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Al, you know, he did a lot of Slim Shady stuff, you know, the early Slim Shady stuff and Mobb Deep stuff, and now with Action Bronson. I mean, it's just you know, something really unique, and it's different too. And I mean, I don't know if you ever felt this way, you know, being from Maine and being like a pretty big fan of hip hop. It's like, oh, there's that white kid bumping those, you know, like at the stoplight in Augusta. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, buddy? Like, it's like, ooh, but it's like you also have to be yourself. And that's what music allows you to do.
Yeah, and I love hip hop like a lot.
Yep.
There's some stuff I don't like.
Right.
Obviously, and a lot of it's like contextual when you talk about those other songs. Like a lot of it's just like, this sounds good in these scenarios, and these scenarios happen all the time. So why wouldn't people like to listen to that song?
Right.
And I
mean, like,
agree.
Yeah, like some songs are great club songs.
Yeah, exactly.
But in terms of like actual, I think music value,
yeah.
You know, like it's certain situations, yes, or it's, you know, like, I don't know, you think of like this song would be great for like a football arena or a strip club or like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like
very like thematic.
It can be, and I do kind of loathe this aspect sometimes of music, is it can be a product.
Commercialized.
It can be.
It can.
It's like people make money off this. And
like we are writing this song with no heart, no soul, solely for the fact that it makes money. And that's a huge, and I'll admit, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, buddy, and folks listening, I think it's a huge problem.
Oh, no, I absolutely
agree.
It's
a huge problem for the music industry, and I think it hurts really talented, hardworking musicians, like that want to just like bust ass, you know, tour all the time, like, you know, like the tradition, like what we'd all ideally like to do if we had a band and hit it off. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of journey. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, these guys who are trying to play live shows, you know, even just like little guys, you know, just starting out, like, you know, you finish up your set at 1 a.m. and now we have to go find the club owner or the venue owner. Oh, he's gone. And you owe us for the beer, and here's $100 to split between 4 guys.
Yeah, it's a scenario.
And now
happens.
we need to go sleep in a van or something, you know, or a car or whatever. And
and I do still think there's like avenues for people.
Oh, there is
to get out there, but it's like the enormous people that like really make money off that stuff. It's like it's because they're so marketable as like a personality, and B, it's like their music is just like really easy to sell. It's so broad. And it's like,
no, most definitely. And that you know, like I said, that's again, in my opinion, a problem. But you know, to each their, you know, and there are avenues. I think there are really accessible avenues for people. You do see some people, you know, you just put in the work and you get lucky, right time, right place, or you know, you just really hardworking, really good sounding group of guys or guys and gals or whatever. You know, and that sometimes, like I said, luck pays off, or you know, the hard work too pays off.
It's got to be like a combination of just sheer absurd luck and really hard work. It's kind of,
I think too that the way music has developed, it's I don't think that you could go the same, you know, route as like, you know, you just walk into the recording studio, you know, like the stories that you hear about Elvis or Johnny Cash or insert anybody who just like has this really great foundational story, right? They get discovered, they walk into the studio, and the guy says, well, Mr. Cash, if you were lying in that gutter out in the street and you were dying, what song would you play? And he breaks out into Folsom Prison Blues. You know, like that, like those types of things don't happen these days. You know what I'm saying? Like the accessibility to like these little record companies are like, we're just starting out back then. You know what I'm saying? And now we've got these huge multi-million-dollar, like Capitol Records is not the little Capitol Records or Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these companies that were not even in music before are now, you know, like, or in the hip hop world, Def Jam. Right, you know, another or good music if you want to use specific like hip hop labels.
Yeah,
you know,
it's funny that you bring that up because I think, and I could be wrong, but for the most part, like the trend right now is record companies like are losing a lot of power.
Yes, a lot of push for independence.
Yeah, it's so easy to go on your computer and just be like, I'm gonna download Pro Tools and I'm gonna record everything myself. Like if you have, it's not super cheap and it's not necessarily affordable, but it's still so much more accessible than it used to be. Like it's really
between
easy.
like SoundCloud, YouTube, and the internet, just on or Reddit, whatever.
You can Google anything. You really can. Do not take that as advice.
That's just stating.
Yes.
You can Google anything. You can Google anything.
Yes.
Oh god. Yeah. No. And you're right. That's true. It is more accessible than it's ever been in the sense that you also can just say, fuck it, I'm going in it for myself. Right? You know, like, and that's, I think, freeing in a lot of ways and really unique. It's just having either the knowledge and the time, right, to do that type of stuff.
And I think it's kind of healthy for the music industry too, because now you don't have somebody breathing down your neck pushing you in a certain creative direction.
Well, actually, it's funny. I just thought of a great story. I mean, MGMT, the legendary MGMT. I don't know how much you know about like their founding and like the whole story with them and the albums they've come out with. I don't know how much you know about them, but
I actually don't know that much.
So, I mean, I guess I'll impart some knowledge on you, buddy.
Please
but
do. Story
time. Story time. Settle in, children. The MGMT, so obviously stood for like management. That was like the whole like joke. They were trying to be like anti-pop, mainstream, and so they'd really push back and do their own things. And so they had couple successful songs, Kids, and then obviously Electric Feel, the legendary Electric Feel. I mean, I still play that at parties and stuff. If I'm DJing, which I do in my free. Well, now that COVID's back, I'll probably be doing some of that more. But that type of stuff, or even if I'm having like a gathering, that song it always slaps. That song's legendary.
It's so
but
good.
Anyway, MGMT, had some commercial success with those songs, and so I think they were on Columbia Records, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds
great. If they, they had the deal. You know how it is with, more free floating indie, electronic, type there, whatever genre you'd consider.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's kind of like new wave.
New wave, yeah. I mean, but anyway, people, that are very, very anti-established. They're very anti-music establishment. They don't want to do like mainstream pop. They they have a very anti-pop, mainstream pop.
I like an
status.
Attitude. I love
that.
That's
I love that
favorite.
attitude in a lot of ways. Yeah, no, it's great. But anyway, so that hurt them, I guess hurt them commercially, I will say, on their second and third album, because they don't really want to make just radio friendly songs. They want to make what they want to make. And so when you were talking about, going independent, were able to do that in a lot of ways. Like they'd kind of throw Columbia a bone and write like one, like the single, you know what I'm saying? Whatever be the single, they'd throw them a bone and like do that type of stuff. But like, and then they had that album most recent. I think they've released some single stuff, but the most recent album I'm familiar with, or last was really attuned to, was Little Dark Age.
Little Dark Age is so good.
It is. I mean, me and Michael. Did you know the story behind that song? I'm gonna
song Little Dark Age?
No, the song Me and Michael, which is on Little Dark Age.
I thought you were gonna tell me a story about you and your friend Michael.
Oh no. So sorry, the song's called Me and Michael, but the whole like premise behind that song is that they stole it from a Filipino band, and there actually is the Filipino version. Like they have them in the music video and stuff like that. It's really like they go all in, like their whole like thematic, anti-pop, anti-mainstream pop aesthetic that they establish is portrayed really well in that song. The music video is strange, as a lot of their stuff, kind of is abnormal in a lot of ways, but worth checking out.
I got some homework.
Oh yeah, school's in session, buddy.
Oh yeah.
But that's really cool though, and again, like I think that again we're at a really good, unique time for artists, both locally and nationally and internationally. Yeah. Really, I mean, music is an international language, so
absolutely
transcends borders, buddy. I mean, like as I told about my times when I was in Cuba, we're down in that club that's down in the cave, it was really cool. They made like a discotheque into a cave, so you go down into like the cave, you're like stalactites and shit with like disco lights and whatever else. I mean, they're bumping Rick Ross and stuff like that, and I'm like, even though we've had an embargo and these people are dirty communists, as we've been told, for the last, they're listening to like Rick Ross and like Skrillex. It was Purple Limb. It was the Suicide Squad movie just come out.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of gives you the time frame, but it was funny, to go down there and have so much. And that's every time I've traveled internationally, continuing to talk about, American influence in music. Every time I've traveled internationally, I want to hear like, what do you guys listen to? And they're like, we listen to this, and
we
I'm like,
listen to your guys' music.
Come on, you guys have to have some like culture based, like, come on, like give me some like native tongue like stuff here. And there is actually, a lot of the British rap scene is really good.
Yeah, it kind of goes hard.
It does.
I don't personally like it too much, but people love that stuff.
I'm partial. And there's also a lot of good German music too. I mean, I don't speak any German. Like a lot of their like I think of the song's called Disco Pogo. It was in the it was Diotzen. Diotzen was the German artist. I mean, that guy is I used to play his music at parties and social events and stuff, and people would be like, this slaps, but we don't understand.
Yep.
What is he saying? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just keep dancing. Like, if it's good, who cares?
Yeah, for sure.
Who cares if you can I mean, as long as, it's not saying, like, death to America or something, like,
even if it is, you know what I mean? It's still really
slaps.
good.
I don't know.
There's a lot
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I don't really care. It's music. That's
No,
what
exactly.
I like.
And
I listen to a lot of, like, Japanese stuff, too.
Do
and,
you?
like,
Yeah.
Japanese and
like
Chinese
K-pop
band.
stuff or
No,
like,
it's like
traditional?
No. Let me clarify.
Yeah, please.
It's like I've just been popping up. How I find new music is I just kind of let Spotify go, and then they do. I don't know how they do it. They do a fantastic job.
They have all your personal information saved.
Yeah,
sold. No,
and
it's
if it's gonna give me cool music like that, you can find out what I'm buying.
Thank you, Spotify.
Yes, thank you very much, Spotify. I'm gonna get an email later today. It's gonna make me very uncomfortable. Anyways, I just kind of let it roll, and it popped up with some like cool. I honestly, I did look it up. This person was Japanese, but I can't read their real name because it's in Japanese.
And if
don't
you don't read
don't
and or
speak or read Japanese, so I'm a little on the dark there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like punk indie music that they come up with. It's like really cool. I love it. It's fantastic.
That's cool.
But, yeah.
Another unique thing that I got turned on to a couple years ago was Icelandic throat singing and like the like that type of stuff. Dude,
yeah.
it's
pretty good.
Or like the Mongolian group, the Woo.
I'm not familiar.
They're crazy.
Yeah, they can do this stuff with their throat where they can do like diehard. They can do two tones at once. I have no idea how they do that.
It's
really cool.
Unreal.
It's not something I can do.
No. But speaking of things you can do, buddy.
Yes.
You can play bass.
I can do that.
You do play bass in a band.
I do play bass in a band.
And recently you started a new band, right?
Yeah.
Correct? You want to just go into that and give us the spiel?
100%. It's plug time. So.
Yes, sir. Plug away, my friend.
Yeah.
Plug away.
So me and a friend from college started a new band in January, roughly.
Okay.
And we've been pulling together the pieces since then.
Yep.
We're called Half Off.
Okay, cool.
With an exclamation point at the end. It's very important.
That's part of your moniker.
It is
necessary.
And we practice primarily in Wyndham, and we play like all sorts of different music.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to get more into arranging our own stuff, but
nice.
Right now we kind of just play kind of deep album cuts from popular bands. Like we play some Arctic Monkeys, but not like Are You Mine or Do I Want to Know. We play View from the Afternoon and Brainstorm. Is what's on our set list right now.
Fluorescent Adolescence is also a great song.
That's a fantastic song. Don't even get me started on the
Sorry.
Arctic Monkeys. That's like those two albums, Whatever You Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, and what is it?
I can't think of it.
Your Favorite Worst Nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are my two favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
I know I just said Blood Sugar Sex Magic was,
but
like I said,
as we said, these things develop over time.
Ask me
whether
an hour.
It's a day or 5 minutes.
Ask me 20 minutes from now, I'll give you a different answer. But yeah, we play all sorts of stuff like that. We play some Aerosmith,
nice.
Which is brutal for our vocalist, but he loves it. He loves it.
Yeah. What type of Aerosmith? Like what do you?
It's Eat the Rich specifically is the song we play.
Yep.
Yeah. We do some Rush.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got I think our strong suit is we have those four of us. It's myself, Noah Smith, actually, who plays around here all the time.
Funny story. I know Noah pretty well, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah, so say hi to him next time you see him, please.
I will. I'll text him as soon as I leave, actually.
Noah's great. So I grew up, again, adding to the story of my life, born and raised in Skowhegan, lived in Augusta, born and raised for a couple of years in Skowhegan, lived in Augusta for a couple of years, then ended up moving to I actually lived in Farmingdale while I was at St. Mike's.
Oh, yep.
And so I was in all Halldale Recreation. I didn't do Augusta Rec. I did Halldale Rec stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so met him, played probably Farm League, definitely Little League with him.
Yep.
And then also like soccer and that type of stuff. And then also... I'm pretty sure I actually dated a girl from high school that went to Halldale when I was in high school, and so her friends was friends with his he has an older sister, right?
Younger sister.
Younger sister.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. He has a sister. They were like friends or something like that.
Yeah.
And so saw him again, and then he actually ended up, funny enough, working with my dad.
Oh,
my
really?
dad took over janitorial gig over and cooking gig over at St. Mike's after we were long after we were gone. And he's actually still works for the church. He does like handyman stuff at like St. Augustine and cleans and does that. But anyway, he was at the school, and so I go in one day, to give him a hand, and he's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, I remember you, dude." Like that's too funny. I mean, like, yeah. So yeah, that's cool. So so he's on.
He's our lead guitar player, and he is fantastic.
Yeah,
he can shred.
He was also in the Resistance too. There with trying to remember
he plays kind of all over the place.
Then they changed the name to Just As Friends or something like that.
Yeah.
He played with them. My ex was also friends with those folks too.
Yeah.
But that being said, it was really good musician, really good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and he's a really, really good guitarist. I think he plays bass mostly for other bands.
Yep.
But I was like, no, I can't play any other instruments, so you're going to
Sorry,
have to
bro.
take a back seat on this one. I guess it's me taking the back seat in the grand scheme of things, but that's fine. So we have myself on bass, Noah's on guitar, my friend from college, his name's Bruce. He was in Steiner's and UMaine Singers.
Oh, cool. Yep.
So he's like pretty pretty good.
I was gonna say he's pretty well vocally trained anyway. Yeah.
So he's good there. He's a singer, and we have Nate on drums, and it's really funny how we found Nate. So there's actually kind of funny how the whole band started in general. So I've known Bruce for a little while. I think we lived together 2020 to 2021.
Okay.
Like right through COVID.
Yeah. Through the lockdown, anyway.
Yeah, I almost gave him COVID. It was pretty silly, but he didn't get it. So we lived together, and then we kind of went our separate ways after I had graduated. He's a year ahead of me, so he had his degree already. But so we went our separate ways. He went to Portland, and I stayed around here and kind of just worked my job.
Yeah.
And then one day he texted me and he's like, "Hey, I work with this guy and he wants to start a band." And I was like, "I think I know a bass player. Do you want to play bass with us?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do we have a drummer?" And he's like, "Let me ask him." And he asks him, and they were at a pool hall. They play pool together like every Thursday, I think.
Yep.
And he asks him, and he says his name was Brandon. He goes, "Brandon, do you know any drummers?" He's like, "Yeah." And he walks across the room, taps some guy on the shoulder, and he's like, "Yeah, we got a drummer." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, that's how drummers are. As a drummer myself, we just hang out places. We're just found when we're needed.
Exactly. It's like Yeah. There's like a pheromone in the air. They need a groove.
We need a rhythm. We need it tight. Need a tight rhythm. Keep us in time, friend. Yeah. Yep.
So that's how we found Nate.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of we've been working.
You don't always get that lucky with randoms.
You really don't, especially good drummers. Like it's like people can drum. I'll say I can drum.
Right.
I can't drum, but I could. Theoretically.
Right.
But yeah, he's really good.
Nice.
Super super technical guy.
Yep.
Yeah, just like Noah.
Yep.
Fantastic
Nice.
Group of individuals. I kind of feel sometimes like I'm not the technical one, and to be honest with you, I'm probably the least technical out of all three of us. That's just how.
But you learn from each other, and you help each other grow too. You become better musicians playing with people that are better than you. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, you do.
I'll say that. I love playing with people. I mean, my music mentors have been extremely talented, and I don't even come in anywhere in comparison, to my teachers, and nor do I mean. It's also a secondary thing, and just having a lot of things on your plate prevents you from practicing as much and all those things as you'd like to. But again, like the technical side, some people just click with it a little bit more, and some people don't. Some people just pick up music theory really, really easily, and understand the augmented fifth to a seventh, and then back down to. I mean, like I know real basic music theory. Like, I could. We need a tune. Can you find C for us? Yeah. There we go, guys.
Hold on.
Or C, like row your boat. But anyway, no, it's that's cool though. Good for you guys. And so obviously you've been putting the pieces together, and you want to have a good set list and all that stuff before you go out and play gigs.
Yes.
So speaking of gigs, you guys got
we do
any gigs coming up?
We
and
do.
Where can people? If they're not just, they forget, because you hear in one ear out the other, where can they find you guys too to keep track all that stuff? So gigs.
Absolutely. So we have a gig coming up in July.
Okay.
We're playing July 9th, which is a Saturday.
Nice.
From 7 to 9 p.m. at Chadwick's Craft Spirits, the Doom Forest Distillery out in Pittston.
Nice.
It's
okay.
a really cool spot. One of my favorite places.
I'll try and make an appearance.
Swing by, man. Yeah.
Try and come out.
It's cool. Go when we're not there either.
Yeah. No,
just
seriously.
recommend the places in general, but especially come when we're there. So.
Right. Yeah. No, most definitely. That's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. So that's where we'll be.
Yep.
And if you ever find that you're wondering, hey, who's that cool band that we heard on Ryan Dumont's podcast the other day, I will give you our nice little handle. It's half off band on Instagram.
Okay.
They don't let you put exclamation points, so you're just gonna have to insert it yourself when you read it. And then it's just half off on Facebook.
Okay, cool. And I'll have links to all your stuff in the description for this episode.
Appreciate it.
I love doing that.
Yeah.
Love, like I said, sharing main musicians. Like I said, when I first started the podcast, 3 big themes, buddy: music, adventures, and general shenanigans. And I think you and I both hit all 3 of those categories.
Yes,
so we're doing good.
We're a very diverse duo.
Yeah, very much so. So yeah, that being said, half off, guys, with an exclamation point. Very important, as Jason noted.
You don't have to yell it though.
Yeah,
you can just say it.
You can just say it, right?
Yeah.
How, did you have Mr. Wells at Coney?
I did.
So how do you think he'd feel about the exclamation point?
I think he would love the exclamation point. It really ties it together personally. If he hears this, I know he's gonna. If he hears this, I know he's gonna be like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
hey, you guys don't need the.
It's a literary device.
Yeah, it's a literary device that you don't need to use.
Jeez, that's what makes it so good.
Yeah. Him and Miss Rodrigue.
Oh yeah.
8 exclamation points.
Yeah. Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah. I just figured I'd throw that in there.
Yep.
That's good. So yeah, half off, guys. Make sure you check them out. Like I said, I'll have everything linked in the description of this episode. So that's exciting, buddy. I wish you guys the best of luck.
Yeah,
Starting out, it's not always the easiest thing starting out as a new band. So hopefully the gigs keep coming in and the camaraderie stays good and the vibe is fantastic.
Oh yeah, the vibes are always fantastic.
That's good. That's good. Like I said, I hope to catch you guys. If not then, another time very soon. Is that what's that? You said July
9th. It's second Saturday.
Oh, it's a Saturday?
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, that makes it so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And it's like a nice little, it's not necessarily a matinee, but it's not like a 9 to 1:30 show.
Right,
you know what I mean? It'll be good.
It's accessible.
Yes, indeed.
That's cool. Hey, accessible music is good music.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you're not playing music, buddy, what do you do for work? What pays the bills? Because as we know, the starving artist.
Yeah. I got to fund my addiction somehow,
yes,
I guess.
You do.
So I work for a environmental consulting firm.
Okay.
They're based in Massachusetts, but all the work I do is up in Maine. Excuse me. Sorry. All the work I do is up in Maine. I'm up in the Bangor area right now, working on a remediation project up there. So
nice.
that's what I do. It's pretty long days out in the sun, and then in the winter out in the snow. But that's all right.
Yeah.
I like being outside, so I'm not too bothered by it.
Worth it, right? And so, what did you study and major in college to do all this great stuff?
Yeah. I studied civil and environmental engineering in college. So that's where it landed me.
Yep. So, I got to ask you then, what's your being an outdoor guy and an engineering guy? What are your thoughts on like hydropower?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There are some downsides. Like
right. I'm not and to be fair, let me clarify a little bit, buddy. And I've talked about this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
The like submersible, completely hollow turbines that spin, not dams, just like
not dams.
Nope,
yeah.
But like these turbines that power like 4,500 homes. I mean, I'll have to send you the study because it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Environmental impact is very small, very, very small. I mean, obviously, whenever you introduce something into an ecosystem, there is an environmental impact. But
yeah, and like newer technology like that, you're not going to get all the data right off. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what the long-term effects of having something like that
That's
are.
fair.
but like unintrusive things like that, like if you could find a way to put something in there that's not inhibiting like the migration of salmon upstream or something like that.
Don't even need those fish ladders or anything.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
like I don't remember what they're called, but
Yeah.
you don't need to put those in. And
Nope.
I think that's fantastic. It's basically free power almost. Like
it runs 24/7.
Yeah,
and you don't have to mine it out of the ground.
You're like stealing gravity is what you're really doing. It's kind of cool. It's
Careful, they're gonna find a way to tax gravity.
I know.
Soon.
I mean, that'll be 10 cents per meter per second squared. Thank you.
Boy.
Okay.
Here we go again.
Come on,
guys.
You can't even see it. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's really cool. Dams are a different story.
Right.
But
yeah. No, that's a whole different. Especially in this state with the mills, dams and mills go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You almost don't want to talk bad about the mills because they used to give jobs, but they also
mills are not
polluted the river. So
not fantastic.
Yeah.
They are like
sources
economically,
of,
and they're sources of like livelihood for people, and I get that.
Right.
But
no, me too. I'm torn, and I'm gonna talk. I mean, I went into great detail with that on my last History of Augusta, Maine episode. Talking about how the mills brought prosperity for some and jobs, but it also destroyed the Kennebec River. I mean, I actually came across, it was pretty cool, some stock footage from 1946 or 47, in color. Of this is our land. It's an old like periscope, like this is the day in America, like the newsreel, like
you
narration.
Hear, like, the crackling.
Yeah. Oh, but it was really well done. This is Augusta. Augusta's prosperity came with the Kennebec River, and they pan to where the little bridge is downtown. It used to be a footbridge down over there. And they pan to that, and the water is brown.
Yeah.
And there's dead shit and trash.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it takes like a while.
I mean, but look what we have now, though. I mean, yeah, I'm not eating the fish out of it, but you can at least put your toes in, and
it's better.
It's
the
not,
pH is around like 7. Every once in a while.
Right.
So you're pretty
right.
good.
Right. No, but it's just amazing. Again, like the fine line to walk between making money and not just killing the planet.
Yeah, that's like the engineering challenge. It's like
and that's like why you wake up in the morning in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of what drove me to do what I do. And it's like that's the whole idea is you're going to need to get resources from somewhere, whether it be from like using up the environment like that or some other way. It has whatever you need is going to have to come from somewhere. You know what I
most
mean?
definitely.
So that's
it's the biggest challenge, right? And it's like, we want all these minerals and like stuff like for our cell phones and lithium and plutonium and platinum and blah 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 blah, and there's a finite amount of it. And so what do you do to make cell phones and all these computers and gadgets and gizmos?
Yeah, it's resource management
right?
Is really what it boils down to.
Yep. Yeah, no, it does, and we'll see how well we do with that. I don't know how good we are as a species of managing resources. I feel like we're kind of bad at it.
Yeah, it's a contentious topic.
I'm sure. I'm just saying general broad strokes. It's just like we could be better. We could always be. To be fair though, we could always be better.
There's always room for improvement, like
exactly.
regardless. But I absolutely agree. I did some research in school about like I took a class on solid waste.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous how easily we could just be like, all right, let's just not do this, and then we'll cut down on like 80% of our solid waste.
Oh yeah,
but it takes resources out from somewhere else to do that, and it's just those resources to the people that need to do it are more valuable than I guess necessarily the long-term investment of the environment.
Right. Yeah. No. And it's there's not always, as we know, with either climate change or global warming or whatever you want to call it too. Like there's not that collective buy-in that there is in other things.
Yeah.
And so you can't always convince people of that or this or whatever. Anyway, so it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, unfortunately,
the hardest part is like none of it's going to be tangible. Like this is stuff you're not gonna get, like it's not going to return.
Intangible. Yeah, of course.
It's not going to give you any return in your lifetime. It's like it's an investment.
Right, and that's like, as they say, the wise man, plants a tree for, his grandchildren's generation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I think my dad really messed that saying up to me once, to be honest with you. For some reason, you said, like, if I had planted a tree 40 years ago, I'd have a tree today. It's like,
yes.
Sure. That's how trees work. Yeah.
Dad, I'll tell you what. That is how trees work.
Anyways,
yes.
sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent
that's
there.
Funny. No, that's good though.
Yeah.
No, that's your expertise is appreciated, buddy. You know, it's like I said, the outdoors and the environment, and specifically the conservation of said things, are very important to me.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like for me, it's like I don't try to bite off more than I can chew, in the sense that it's like, like for me, if I can make my corner of the sky good, hopefully it'll inspire other people to also and prompt good change elsewhere, because you can't do it all yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a village, as, folks say. And so, it's good to lead the charge, but you also need good people behind you too. So that's the tough part.
That is tough.
Yep.
Yeah.
But speaking about having people have your back and behind you, rugby.
I know where this,
Yeah. There it is. There it is. So yeah, that's cool. When you mentioned, we were talking, about having you on. You mentioned that you played rugby, and I was like, hey, I played rugby too.
Nice. I did not know that before I came on the podcast.
No, I did. Yeah, nice. I blew out my ACL.
That's how you did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. That's how it happened. That story's a couple episodes back. I'll make you go back and listen to that. I don't want to bore
I'll put
people
that on
again.
the list.
Yeah, but that being said, I loved that sport, man.
Oh,
I played for 3 years, and I mean, last year obviously didn't because the knee went. But that being said, it was awesome experience. I met a lot of good guys and made a lot of really good friends, and also just really enjoyed the game, going from a soccer player who was pretty rough and tumble anyway to being able to actually hit people and tackle and stiff arm to a point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. My high school sports coaches are gonna loathe me for this.
Okay.
But I've played football since I was like a child, and then
so you played for BL then?
I did play for BL.
Yep.
He's really gonna hate me when I get to the point here.
Well, he sat in that chair about a year ago now, so hey.
Yeah. I played football forever, and I've always really liked football, but it's just like no sport has ever just like clicked for me as much as rugby did.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because it's not huge over here, but it's just so much fun. And it's just like it made so much sense to me.
And if played correctly, and again, that's my biggest, and I'll just get this out of the way. My biggest problem with college rugby is that guys are out there to just maim and kill each other.
Yeah.
Just rip off heads, and that's not the point of the sport. You watch those pros play, it's a gentleman's game.
It really is, yeah.
It's rough and tumble, but then they go out and they drink beer together after.
Yep.
Like, there are some games, and I'm sure you had the same experience after some games. We don't want to drink beer with those guys, even be in the same room as those guys, because we just fought basically a war on the field with each other.
I don't think we've ever had that issue.
Oh,
every
really?
every time we'd always be like, come over.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The camaraderie, maybe just different being out of state.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm sure you guys played, obviously, teams from out of state.
We actually
but like,
didn't
really?
very often. We played Plymouth.
Oh, Plym State?
Yeah.
And
our playoff.
They were good.
They were pretty good.
They
had
beat
one
us
dude
into the frickin' ground. It was a tough game.
That was really tough. Yeah.
We lost all our subs. Like, we had so many injuries and just...
They were a rugged team.
Yep.
So, yeah, we played Plymouth. It was, like, the only one out of state. And we even stopped. We stayed there. We, stayed there for a couple hours, so...
That's an awesome spot up there, too.
Oh, yeah,
that
it's really cool.
Campus is really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice up there. I'd actually... One up, my buddy dated a girl that was up there, so I gave him rides up there and whatever else, and then also worked up there when I was on the political campaign after college. When I was all over, I was all over. I know New Hampshire like the back of my hand now.
Nice.
Like, I know it almost as well as I know Maine, just because I spent 5 really good quality years down there, and so great spot too. Up in that mid-northern, like not like very like Coos County, but it's like in the middle, like just above the lakes region in there, and it's really, really beautiful spot.
You're far enough away from Massachusetts and deep enough into New Hampshire. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. And so, when I played, we had we got shut down for a fall semester.
Is that right?
They may or may not have found out about some hazing that may or may not have happened.
Interesting. Alleged.
Yeah, and they had no proof. Well, actually, they did have proof because they were dumb enough to.
It's not alleged.
They were dumb enough to the guy dressed in they had basically like the new guys, so we dress as sheep, and like they had them out, in the yard, and had some in there as like a shepherd, and like they had to like baa, like the new guys had to like baa and stuff, and it was just like, ooh, yeah, that did happen because I was in science class at the time, and I was looking out the window and I saw that happen. I was
Just
like,
heard a sheep walking out. Those sheep look kind of funky.
Guys, what are you doing? I was like, and then I saw my buddy Bobby, who was joined the team. I joined the team after him, but who joined the he was going through it. I'm like, Bobby, what? Why? Like he was on his hands, like like when it's like fall time, so like the grass is wet, like they're the knees are all wet. I'm like, Bobby, what happened? Because he's in like all gray sweats, with like he's holding a pair of socks because they made them like put socks on their ears, and like they had one guy who's like the black sheep with like all black sweats.
It's just not a good look.
And then the shepherd looked like right out of the movie Animal House.
Yes.
When they show up at the end with the trench coats and the sunglasses,
just
like that with a hockey stick.
Your college rugby experience was drastically different than mine.
My rugby team was a rugby team, but it was also a fraternity basically because we didn't have fraternities, and so I guess that's where I went to St. Anselm College, a college of like 1,500, 2,000 people versus UMaine, which is
like 20,000 people. Yeah.
D1 versus D2, 3. We straddled the line between being D2, D3 in certain sports, but it was.
We've had our like frat moments.
Yeah.
There's some stories I can vividly recall.
Oh, if you played rugby up there, do you know Cody Cullen?
I don't know Cody Cullen. No,
did you? You must have played with Jeff Bilodeau though.
Yeah, I played with Jeff. I didn't play with Thon. Thon was gone. I joined late.
Okay.
I started at the end of my sophomore year.
I'll let you finish. Sorry, I was just thinking about I was just thinking about all the guys I know that play on that team.
Yeah, I do talk with Thon though because I went and played.
He's an incredible player.
He went to I think Vietnam for a while. And played over there.
Yep.
And then came back. So.
Yep.
He plays for like the major league team sometimes down here.
I'd like to coach it if there was ever an opportunity. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love coaching soccer.
Yeah.
But if I ever had if they wanted, like Coney wanted to start a team. I mean, I knew it would never happen because it would hurt the football team. But sorry guys, I just have to put that out there. I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just it's the reality of the town. It's the culture.
That's
I mean, we have a how many year rivalry with Gardner? 100
it's like pushing 200 almost or something like that.
Right, exactly. So it's in the culture of the town, almost as much as it is in a lot of ways like in some southern towns, you know what I'm saying, where the big
it's pretty big up
Friday
here.
night lights, that's as you know, being a former player.
Yeah, I will say I know I kind of spoke some sacrilege earlier, but that is one of the best experiences I've ever had was playing that football team because they do kind of really loft it to a different level.
If I've played football, I've always either wanted to be like a linebacker, or like a LeGarrette Blount type power running back.
Funnily enough, I was
5 yards or either like 2 yards because I hit people. I don't stop. I just run.
Yeah. Funnily enough, that's kind of how I was.
Yeah. I just bounce off people. I just boom.
I played linebacker and running back.
Yep.
And then I'm not a big person, and I never was.
Right.
Especially back then, I was like 40 pounds lighter in high school than I am now.
Right.
I can't wait for people to hear this. I haven't seen me since high school. I don't know what this kid looks like now. It could be anything. But I was considerably smaller, but I would still kind of run like a power back. It's like not advantageous for me.
Yeah, I mean, I could do 100 meters, maybe a 200 meter, but anything after that, man, sprinting, run out of steam.
Yeah, I've since kind of taken speed as my my power.
Yep.
But power like.
And so, what position did you play
in rugby?
Yeah,
I started out as a scrum half.
Okay.
And then because our scrum half was graduating.
Yep. I was a hooker myself. I was right.
I could have told you that one. Yeah.
My neck, dude. I'd wake up some mornings after games and I couldn't move my neck.
Yeah, I play hooker at sevens. And I can't even stand that.
Dude, I love sevens because I'd kick and I'd just take off. Because I had that quality soccer boot, and so I would kick all of our free points and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you could really put them up there, huh? Nice. People never expect that, especially like around here in like small college rugby.
I can kick a pretty good field goal.
Really?
I can kick like
nice.
50 yards out.
That's a bomb, man.
I can kick it.
That's pretty cool.
Well, from playing, I used to take all the goal kicks in soccer because the goalie wouldn't take them.
So you would do
I could kick from the goal to past half field.
That's pretty rad.
If I got a good kick, I just would get tired. You kick.
Yeah.
Kick. And it's more often than you kick a free point. or kick a field goal.
Yeah, you're just doing it
It's
all the time.
Anytime the ball goes out of bounds behind you.
Yeah, kick it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's cool. So you said you preferred 15s over 7s?
No, I prefer 7s because
okay.
I'm just like like I said, my thing was like running.
Right.
So.
Well, I hate it. I just liked having less people. There's too much going on. It's like you're looking up and there's guys coming at you in all directions. It's like, oh shit. Especially being a forward. You're probably a back, right?
I was a back.
Yeah. Being a forward, especially when we used to have this play called Rambo.
Oh,
and I bet you can guess what you just
ball.
get the ball from your guy who picks it up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, whether it be your scrummy or whomever goes
there.
after it. Yeah. Whether it be your playmaker guy or whatever, he just
crash ball.
Crash. Yeah. Rambo. Boom! Yeah. It's like, he used to do that to me all the time too. Yeah. It'd be like, Dumont, Rambo. I'm like,
come on, man.
Damn it.
Come on.
I'm gonna get hurt.
You're the only one close enough.
Yep.
It's like, can you skip me on this one? I really want to do this.
Can we yell skip? Hit the next guy and let him run into it.
Honestly.
Well, and that's the cool thing about rugby is you have to go backwards to go forwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people know that. Like, you can't just, it's not like, you're Tom Brady over here throwing the ball overhand. Like, you literally need to, shovel dump it backwards.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
has to move backwards, or it can move, in line, but that's really dangerous if
you need to be able to see sunlight in between the person. That's what they say. The refs told me anyway.
Yeah, that's how they
sunlight.
do it.
It's it's cloudy.
Yeah, it's really kind of up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's egregiously forward. It's like, yeah, you got to put that ball down, and sometimes it's like, I don't know, let them get away with that one.
Yeah. Let the kids play. Let them play.
The only time you can move the ball forward, for those of you who don't know, is if you kick it. You can head it too, and that works. But if you want to chase it to get it, you have to be behind the person who kicked it.
Yep.
And then go after it. But just a little rule explanation there.
Oh, and it's an intricate game in a lot of ways too. I mean,
there's a lot of rules and there's not a lot of rules.
Yeah, it's weird,
you know
right?
What I mean?
And that's a catch-22.
No, it makes sense because there's a lot of rules when it comes to playing with the ball, but when it comes to tackling people and getting the ball back, it's kind of just a
more
free
so
for
just
all.
good form in that sense.
Yeah.
To not get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I was taught, it was all right, whatever side the ball's on, you put your head to the other side, you wrap that mother, and you just hope and pray you don't get kicked in the head.
We taught. I actually helped coach up there at UMaine after I graduated because I've been working in Bangor.
Yeah.
We teach cheek to cheek.
Okay.
So you don't want to put your head anywhere near their knees because you're not wearing a helmet and you're gonna get absolutely blasted. It'll knock you clean out.
Yep.
It will. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. What actually ended up causing the tear in my knee is I got it torn.
Yeah.
It took me out for a game, did some PT, got back into it, and then a year later ended up actually doing the full blowing it out.
Oh, you did it
again. I had a partial tear basically, and then I blew it
the first one wasn't enough.
But I took off, dude. I had a breakaway. I was gone. And their fastest kid, skinniest, lankiest, hit me from behind. Yeah. Knee impacted right into the ground and twisted.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, that hurt. But it was really a bad hit and should have been called. It was a legal back hit, you know what I'm saying? Because I got pushed. Physically.
Oh, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. You have to tackle people.
Oh, yeah, no, but he fell too, so it looked good. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those. But yeah, no, I got up and I was limping all around and whatever. I'm like, yo, this is not right.
I think my knees hurt.
Yeah, I think my knee's broken. Then the only other really bad injury I got, other than if you have any good injury stories, please share. But the only other really good one I did to my right shoulder, and it still bothers me from time to time. Mm-hmm. We used to do these things. I don't know if you guys did gator rolls. Grab the guy,
for a tackling drill,
You grab the guy by the waist. Well, you can do it in games.
Oh, over a scrum or over a ruck or something like that. I think they banned that.
Did they?
I think they got rid of that a little while.
Well,
recently.
we still did it.
Yeah, you can still grab them and kind of yank them a little bit.
You grab around the waist and you flip them.
You can't do that anymore.
I landed a guy right on my shoulder. It was awesome though. I did it. I was really proud. Coach was like, "Gator roll." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, that's why you can't do that. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Rucking.
Yeah, I know it is. It is dangerous.
Yeah.
Goddamn right it is. I'm not saying go and do this. I'm just saying it was really kind of badass at the time.
Oh no, if you pull that shit off, it's very impressive.
Yeah. I loved it, man, and I felt like I was getting pretty good at it, but then I just hurt.
Yeah,
I hurt a lot.
No, I came out pretty unscathed. I think the worst I ever got it was like I said, I've never been a big person, and I was running with like no support one time, and they just tackled me, and one of the biggest rules about rugby is if you're getting tackled, get to the ground because they can
don't fight it. Yeah,
don't fight it because they'll hold you up and they'll start a maul, which is just like when it's like that scrum on steroids.
Yeah,
and they were trying to get the ball out of my arms, and like the thing about rugby, like I said, there's a lot of rules and there's not. When that happens, there's not many rules. Like if they're tearing your arms off you, basically, they're not going to stop the play.
Yep, no,
like,
that's completely cool. They can go for the ball like that.
Yeah, if they twist if you literally like, if you're not to get graphic here, but if you're because I'm saying this because this is what happened to me, as if they like have you by the arm and you have the ball in your other arm, and they're like pulling you one way and pulling the ball the other way, and your like arms about to snap right in half. They're not going to stop, and that's like what happened to me. I got held up, and then they kind of were just like pulling me in two different directions, like some Victorian torture method or something.
Yeah,
like
that's like some Vlad Dracula type
nonsense.
That's
slapped
crazy.
me on the table and started cranking the ropes. I was like, oh my god! I like
Jesus.
That's the only time I honestly thought I was gonna like break my arm there.
No, there are moments like that. There are definitely moments like that, bud. Yeah, but no, that's crazy.
I didn't because I'm smart. No, I got lucky. I got really lucky.
Life hard, rugby easy. That used to be the but I mean, not to get, obviously I can't divulge too many state secrets on this topic, but one of the best things was, barrels after the games, getting together with your teammates, singing songs.
Yeah.
That was I can't, obviously not going to go into the songs. A, they're too explicit.
They're a little,
and B, I would
classified.
definitely get some. Yeah, it's classified information, but I'll just say the songs and the barrels were a great time.
Did you guys do boots as well?
Yeah. Well, or boat shoes or whatever was around.
Yeah, whatever you had on. Yeah. I think we had one cleat that we brought everywhere with us.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's the grossest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Literally.
Do you mind if I explain what they are?
Go.
Because
I don't think that's not a huge secret. There's like that always ends up on people's Snap stories and shit like that. Like, I mean, like that's not like giving away lyrics to one of the songs.
No, I tell people.
That's fair. Yeah,
about
please,
this.
please.
It's a very important part of the culture. You could call it hazing. You really could.
You could call it whatever you want to call
it. You really could call it. But people sign up for the sport knowing fair way, and like you wouldn't
knowing what they're getting.
You
into.
would not do it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't think
you have to be a certain type of crazy to even sign up to play the freaking sport in the first place. So that being said,
and I don't think they would like really make you do it if you were like, I'm not doing that. They wouldn't be like, oh, and then like hold you down and do it. What it is, like Ryan was saying, like typically. You, or I guess you, I don't know who I'm talking to in the third person, I guess the viewer, huh?
Yeah. We're not quite breaking the fourth wall. Give us a minute now.
Like you were saying, it's sometimes whatever you have lying around for a shoe. And in our case,
literally off someone's foot.
Literally off someone's
hot, sweaty, nasty ass shoe.
In our case in particular, we tried to use the same one for each one we did.
Fair.
So for like we'd go like a week and then somebody else would do it.
Yeah.
So basically when you score your first try, you you have to shoot your boot.
Yeah.
And basically anyone else who has shot their boot prior to you scoring your first try is allowed to take whatever receptacle you have decided to use for the evening and fill it with something. Anything at all. Anything viscous.
Yep.
It's sometimes solid. It can be solid if it needs to be.
I've never seen the solid, but it was always liquid for us.
Yeah, if it's small enough to be, not to give too much away, if it's small enough to be swallowed, you could put it in there.
Yep.
They would fill it with anything they want, and then you would have to drink the entire boot. Yep. And it's really gross.
Also for us, another rule that we had is if you screwed up a song,
you screw up a song? Oh my god,
it would stop.
Ruthless.
It would stop, and then everybody just start chanting, "Shoot the boot."
That's insane. We had one.
Our rugby culture was intense.
That's what I'm saying. You and I went to two very different schools.
Well, you'd think that the culture at mine would be the culture at yours, and
No,
you know, but no,
totally
but like being
different.
at like UMaine, like yeah, woo, but like no, it's
no,
like
we had our things. We like
right.
It's not like
no.
culture. We were just all crazy.
Yeah, no,
We
exactly. I
just-
mean, again, like I said, you have to be a certain degree of crazy to to play that sport, man.
yeah.
Yeah, most
Anyways.
definitely. That's cool, man.
Nice little rugby tangent
yeah,
there.
I love it, dude. But before
another thing, yeah.
right,
Go ahead.
But before, no, rugby's great, man. I love. Like I said, fantastic sport. Miss it.
Yeah.
Are you still coaching, or are you still involved?
I try to be.
Yep.
I work pretty late sometimes, and they
Yeah.
practice at like 4:00. And it's
Yeah,
not.
trust me, I know that struggle.
Not ideal for me to go
Coney
there.
boys practice at like 3:00, and it's
Yeah.
like that's a terrible time for me.
Honestly, and the closest place that I could play rugby is in Portland, and that's another hall, and they practice at times I'm not going to be at. Like they do practice after work, but I like out of work at 5:00 in Bangor, and they were start practice at like 6 in Portland.
2
I'm just
hours,
not
real
gonna make
quick.
that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, nobody. Before we wrap things up, any shout outs or anything you'd like to remind folks of?
Yeah, actually, it's on the topic of rugby. The UMaine team is going to New Orleans this weekend for nationals, sevens
Right on.
nationals. Yeah,
Cool.
they've got a donation link. If you want to link that along with,
Yeah, if you want to send that to me,
I'll
I can
certainly
definitely
send
do
it.
that.
I
Yeah,
would love to, that they could use all the help they could get. That's my one shout
help
out.
get
right
them
there.
down there, fund the trip.
Yeah, for
Yep,
sure.
yep.
That
Okay.
they're going to be streaming that on CBS. So
Cool.
if anybody wants to tag along and watch
CBS,
the boys play, they are fantastic this year.
They're good, man. They're good.
Yeah.
Another quick little tangent. That,
Yeah.
You know, one of our buddies, actually, Cody Cullen, the guy who I mentioned,
Yep.
who played with me, actually went from St. A's to UMaine. He transferred his sophomore year. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try and set up a game between UMaine and St. A's," and I'm glad he didn't, because you guys would have stomped us.
We're typically meatheads. We're typically just like really muscular, big dudes.
And we had some big dudes too, but like
yeah.
we only had so many people. You know,
yeah, it's tough when you don't have numbers. It's really hard.
We had like 20.
20's passable.
You know,
but
it's
like you don't. That's not even a whole roster. Yeah, 23's
20,
a roster.
25. I don't know. We had 30 at one point. You know, it was again 1,500 kids.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, help out the UMaine boys. I'll link that too, along with the band stuff. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, buddy. Anybody else?
I don't really
all right,
know.
cool. Right
My
on, dude.
mom, she's pretty cool.
Yeah, she tells me I'm pretty cool too.
She asked me
so.
where I was going when I left the house today because I was there, and I didn't tell her.
And I didn't tell her because.
So this is her reward for not pressing any harder.
There's a little bit of surprise. Hey, Mom, I was on a podcast.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome, buddy. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah.
It's been great to talk. Also, just great to see you. It's been a minute, so great to catch up for a quick minute, and I'm sure we'll talk after. But yeah, that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you, Jason, for being on this episode. So keep in mind, guys, as well as this episode coming out and supporting Jason's band there in July. There's also the upcoming Cara auction, sports fields for kids coming up June 4th at the Augusta Civic Center. The silent auction portion is already live. Went into great detail about that a couple episodes ago with Mr. David Hastings. And so if you guys want to check that out, look up Cara Sports on Facebook, or all that stuff is linked in the description of episode 24, so you guys can check that out. It's a great cause. Helps, like I said, I'm a Cara member myself. Helps us keep the lights on, the lawnmowers filled with gas, and the road paved, so we can keep providing quality athletic fields for kids, whether you be playing baseball, soccer, or even lacrosse. We have, lacrosse fields even. So, we're up with the times. So, that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a much longer episode. I think this might be even my longest episode. So, right on, Jason. We did it, buddy.
It's pretty. I like to keep them beefy.
Yeah.
They can really talk.
Yeah, but that being said, guys, we'll finish her up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to keep an eye on everything we're doing. The DuView podcast on all those good listening platforms out there. The DuView 207 on Instagram, and like I said, the DuView podcast on all the other social medias as well. So have a great week, guys, and I'll be back with another fun-packed episode here pretty soon. So have a great rest of your week, and hang in there, guys.